All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 31. I got my normal folks here, the Wanderer and Big Earn in the backdrop. Everyone say hello to the crowd.
Hello, 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 hello.
Glad to have you here.
All right, so we're doing a midweek episode this week because I was recently in Vegas for the Jets-Raiders game.
How was that?
More on that in a few minutes. I'm going to build up to it with my rant. So, you go on trips, right? And you hit the airports and you do whatever, this, that, and the other. I have to say, JFK might be one of the worst places to fly out of, even though it's so close to where we live. Like, it just makes sense to go there.
Did you guys fly JetBlue?
We did. So you get to Terminal 5, and I get it. Like, when you're going on the trip, you don't have a care in the world. Like, nothing could bother you because you're flying out, you're not going to be home, you're going on vacation. But it's more so the ride back. So we're coming back, me and our buddy Paul.
Okay, so this is the return flight.
Right. It's mostly the return flight, and then we'll get into the debacle of the Sunday night game, Jets-Raiders.
But you have to add the disclaimer.
What's the disclaimer?
Going, you got dropped off, so you just get dropped off curbside.
Correct.
Coming home, you didn't get picked up curbside.
Right. So the flight was delayed, which is not a problem. This happens from time to time, especially more recently now with everything that's going on. I don't know, it might all be nonsense, but, we're delayed 45 minutes. Fine. We get on the flight. I barely get any sleep. I'm on the red eye. I'm on the aisle, which I need to be on the aisle because you get a little bit more leg room because you stick your leg out or whatever.
Stretch your shit out.
Right. But as I'm trying to fall asleep, every time I try to fall asleep, someone always gets up and someone always either hits my shoulder or hits my foot. And the shoulder I get, maybe you don't see it, the chair or whatever, but are you looking down and seeing like people's feet? Like, why are you kicking me? Every time I was like literally out to sleep, someone's hitting me.
Well, I mean, I'm an aisle seat guy too. I always have to have that. But we're not supposed to have our feet in the aisle either.
First off, okay, I don't know what's happening here. You're entitled to your opinion, obviously, but like when I'm walking up and down the aisle, because like I go to the bathroom a few times, so I need to stretch my leg. Like sometimes I don't even need to go to the bathroom. Like I just pretend I'm going to the bathroom just to get up and stretch my legs. My back starts to hurt. The seats aren't really comfortable. Whatever.
Right.
So I get up, and what I do is I normally I do like the side side. I'm a bigger kind of guy, like you know what I mean. So I go to the side a little bit, and I look at the people in front of me. Are their feet in the aisle? And especially on a red eye, like if it's in the afternoon, I almost could care less because everyone should be up. If you're sleeping in 3 in the afternoon, that's on you, right? But you got the first class people, which by the way, that's ridiculous. Like we had a newer plane, and there was like the setup for first class was 2 seats, 1, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And the people that had the 1 must have had the most money because you had like these weird gadgets on the side, which I don't even know what some of it was, whatever. But like an hour into the flight, I go up, I needed water, so I go all the way to the front, the guy gives me water, which is great. The flight attendants were great on the flight, on both flights actually. And everyone's passed out and they're laying there sleeping, like laying with blankets, pillows. I mean, I don't fly enough to see that. So like, I guess people that travel more see that all the time. Not so much me. Anyway, getting back to it, like I'm sidestepping, whatever, making sure I don't hit anybody. Do I still hit people sometimes? Yeah, occasionally. But that's because I got a fucking big ass sometimes, and I just hit some people. What are you gonna do? But that was problem number 1. Like people keep waking me up. Then we land in JFK. It takes us forever to get off the plane. I'm actually sitting in the aisle. And the reason why I like the aisles, I can control the people behind me, right? Because the funniest thing about this kind of stuff is people, as soon as the plane lands and you can take off your seatbelts, they all stand up.
Yeah.
They're all grabbing their stuff.
I know.
And they're all standing there in the aisle waiting to leave.
And you
Not
know,
how it
like
works.
another 20 minutes before you're getting off.
Right.
Thank you guys. Exactly my point. Like I've learned that many years ago. Like I used to be that guy, and then I decided not to be that guy because why am I going to stand for 15, 20 minutes? I'm just going to sit in my seat. Now, Paulie's in the aisle seat next to me because we both wanted aisles. some gentleman, older guy, maybe in his 60s or whatever, literally bum rushes like from like a couple rows back to us because we weren't getting up yet. Like there was like 3 or 4 aisles in front of us starting to get ready to get up and leave. And he literally hits my leg, and like I'm looking at this guy, he's got the mask on, all this stuff.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like it's just like, why is this guy doing this, right? Like, you got your seat in the back, bro. You gotta wait. Like, I don't understand what the issue is. People are in a rush for everything, and I get it. It's New York, whatever. You're coming back, but wait your turn. You could have chose a seat up in the front. You decided not to because maybe you didn't want to pay the money. So guess what? You gotta wait. And then you see other people try and piggyback off him.
Yeah, everybody's just stuck in their own head, I guess.
Yeah. So then I do my thing, right? And then I kind of like lift the armchair up, and then I stick my body out behind him. So now I'm like in the aisle like this. Because for one, for people that don't know, Paul, broke his foot or whatever, and he's got a disability, so he needs the time. So I was really protecting him so that he could get up, and we have no carry-on because we checked our baggage. All he has to do is get up, and then he could start to walk. You know what I mean? And which is why he needs the aisle seat. Why we did those things. So
after the other people get off the plane, which this guy couldn't grasp that concept.
Right, and that one guy got in front, and Paulie's looking at me, and I'm like, don't worry, I got it. So then that's when I like put my shoulder and my leg out even more so that the guys behind him weren't going to just bum rush.
It's not a free for all.
Right. So then we finally get off the plane. Now we're walking. We got to go from Terminal 5 to Terminal 7 to catch an Uber. You know how they have those like little escalators where you just stand there and they just take you?
Yeah.
So now you see people, right, rushing to get wherever they're going and then get on that little escalator in front of us. And I'm like, if you're in that much of a rush,
keep moving.
Don't be lazy. Walk on the side and just power walk it all the way through. Like, you'll get where you're going faster walking.
Yeah.
As opposed
you literally just ran here.
Right, as opposed to walking fast around us and then getting on the escalator and then continuing to walk. Like, it doesn't help you walk faster on that escalator. You're like, it's going a little bit faster, but if you power walk, you'll get where you're going faster. So that was number 2 or 3, right? And then we finally get to the air tram. We gotta take it, and all the signs are very confusing. Take the air tram, Terminal 7. We get to the air tram. You look at the signs; they're changing every couple minutes because.
Oh man, I haven't taken that thing since I worked there.
Me neither, and there's good reason for it. So you look at it; it says Terminal 4, Howard Beach, Terminal 4, whatever. Nothing says Terminal 7, which is where we got to go for the Uber. So Paulie makes a decision, and he got lucky. Whatever. He said, "Let's just get on this tram." I was like, "All right." What if it takes us to Howard Beach? He's like, "I'll figure it out." So we get on there, and a nice, lovely lady says, "Oh, this is actually going to hurt us what we were complaining about. Like, we don't know if we're going to Terminal 7. She's like, "Oh, we're going to Terminal 7. I'm like, "Oh, how you doing?" I was like, "Oh, the sign right back there says Terminal 7. All right, cool." Get off Terminal 7. Now, where we get out is fine. We go down to Terminal 7, and you see the sign for ride shares and Ubers and whatnot. And we go there. He orders the Uber. The Uber's there in like seconds. And it basically, that part was okay, but I feel like they should do that in every terminal.
So is there no curbside pickup right now at Terminal 5 for JetBlue?
It doesn't look like it. You have to go to Terminal 7 because Terminal 7 is Alaska, and I think it's just Alaska. So I guess like that's a slow terminal. So they made one of the parking decks, I think the top parking deck, an Uber pickup. So they put like the barriers in, and they made lines for them to pull up, pick you up, and then dip out and get out the exit.
And it's away from everything else.
Right, and it's away from everything else. And I guess it's a slower terminal where there's not as many flights per day, so the traffic is just easier flowing. Because you can see it's half the parking garage or the top is still parked cars there. It might be long-term parking. I don't know.
But I wonder though if there's just no curbside pickup right now at Terminal 5, or is it just curbside pickup and they're not allowing the Ubers?
Right, that's what I think
anymore.
it is. If you have family or someone picking you up, they could scoop you real quick and be out of there. But there's no Ubers, there's no taxis there. Apparently, you could get a fine if you're stuck over there in front. They could fine you and kick you out. So that was rant 1A. Rant 1B. So I've been to 2 Jet games in 7 days. I was at the MetLife for the Chargers Jets game, which we talked about last week. I'm not even going into it.
East to west.
And then, right. and two West teams, right? The Chargers and the Raiders. Then I go to the Raider game out in Vegas, and something's bothering me now. I noticed not so much at the Raiders game, but it was still there. It was more predominant at MetLife. But you're walking around, and besides seeing Raiders and Jet fans with their jerseys, you see a slew of different other jerseys at these games. And I really don't understand why. Like at MetLife, you saw Giants, I saw Cowboys, I saw Minnesota Vikings, Packers, what have you. Over here in Vegas, I saw all these other different ones. Chargers one, which I don't know why. I mean, it's West Coast, whatever. I don't know. I also saw Texans, Seattle.
Well, I guess it could just be people on vacation, on trips, and you know, bucket list kind of trips where they're going to different stadiums, and of course they're still going to wear their
Team colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it, but I also don't. If you're going to a Raider or you're going to a game and it's not your team playing, you have, in my mind, you have two choices. Because to me, you just look stupid. Like if you're at a Raiders Jet game, you should be wearing a Giant jersey.
So like guys who I mean it's been a long time tradition where you have these guys or people who go to try to go to every baseball stadium, right? Are they wearing their team's jerseys when they're going to these games?
They shouldn't be unless their team's playing that team. Like when I wanted to take my father to all the baseball stadiums. He always wanted to do that, and we didn't get far. And this was going back like almost 15 years ago, probably. The first place I went to was Baltimore because it was the easiest one. Well, maybe not the easiest, but second easiest besides Boston, right? But we didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to Baltimore. So we get there, but we go for an Oriole Yankee game. So you could wear your team jersey, right?
But had you gone, just say for argument's sake, you were going to be in Baltimore for whatever reason,
right?
And you said, you know what, I'm going to go catch a game.
Okay.
And they're playing the Rangers. Are you still going to wear your Yankee jersey?
No, absolutely not. I'm going to do two things. If I like one of the teams that are playing, even though in baseball that's impossible, I'll wear their colors. Like maybe if I have a T-shirt, if they're playing the Rangers and I have a red or a blue T-shirt, I'll wear a red or a blue T-shirt because I don't like the Orioles, right? If I don't, I'll just wear any kind of T-shirt. I'm not going to wear the Yankee jersey. I'm going to look like an idiot. And then it also draws some attention to myself because what am I doing in Baltimore, watching a Baltimore whatever game, and I'm a Yankee fan with a Yankee jersey, right? And I think the same principle is with football. Like, if you don't like either team, or even if you do, and it's a bucket list or whatever the reason that you're at the game, if you can't buy a $20 T-shirt in the parking lot or less, or haggle with the guy that's selling these T-shirts, which by the way, if Steve is watching tomorrow, we saw plenty of them at the Raiders Stadium, at Legion Stadium, right?
And we still didn't get you one.
Right, and we still didn't get you one. I actually had one, but I left it in the stadium. It was a freebie. Sorry. Hopefully he watches this tomorrow. But we dipped out to get the Uber, and I forgot the T-shirts. I had two of them for you, so sorry, pal. But not only did they have guys selling the shirts on the outskirts, like on the main roads, because it's a little different there, the setup. It's kind of cool, but difficult at times. They also had giant stands where you could just buy stuff in the parking lot. Like, they go to a whole new level, So, and you see that in MetLife.
Oh, like
too.
Merch stands?
Yeah, but it was like makeshift stands. It wasn't like, when you went to MetLife.
Everybody was just setting up their own shop.
Yeah, like, I don't want to call them, I guess trailers, like small little trailers, and they open them up. They just leave them there.
They have that at concerts
Right,
too.
exactly. They didn't have it like that. They had like tents. And then underneath it was like makeshift walls for the day, and they just throw stuff on there, and you sell them, and then when we were leaving the game, they're all broken down and gone.
Gotcha.
So it was
like a flea market.
Yeah, basically, 100%. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, that's my second round with these jerseys. I'm tired of seeing it, and I hope these things change. So
as per Ryan, if you're going to a game and you're not a fan of one of the two teams, don't wear a jersey.
Correct. Wear regular clothes. It's fine. Like, you go to baseball games all the time, you see corporate America wearing button downs and slacks. Like, you could be a regular guy or girl.
The worst is when the NBA jersey over that.
Oh,
And you also have to remember though, in places like Vegas, though, you're going to see a game in an area where there are a lot of transplants. So,
True.
you know, not everybody has a closet full of fucking jerseys just because they buy everybody that's on their fantasy team like you do.
I don't know who does that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Some people can only afford to buy, one jersey a year, and they're gonna buy obviously.
Well, tell them how I buy the jerseys.
For their team.
Tell them how I buy the jersey.
Well,
I don't spend $200 on the jersey.
Well, we don't want to share that because then our
The
next
feds
package,
could be watching.
Our next package might not arrive.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But don't act like I have all this money like other people that I'm buying $200 jerseys because of my fantasy teams. And that's alleged, by the way. I don't really do that. People need to see proof. I need to see proof of these jerseys and the statements and receipts. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's the overall.
So what was your opinion of the stadium?
Okay, so it's hard to get in there when you take an Uber, especially with the F1 racing that was happening. Like they set up all these fences.
Oh, it's at the same time?
Well, it's tomorrow.
Going to be this week.
Oh, so they were getting ready.
I think it's tomorrow. What's today? Yeah, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, because they normally do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but for this inaugural race in Vegas, it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the race is actually Saturday night.
So what's Thursday, Friday then?
It's going to be
practice.
Yeah, they have what they call free practice 1, free practice 2, free practice 3, and then also qualifying.
Okay, so today was one of the practices I was hearing. Is that true or no?
It could be. I didn't check the exact schedule.
And then what's qualifying? When do you do qualifying? Friday?
Qualifying will probably be if I'm guessing, it's going to probably be Saturday morning or afternoon.
Oh, so they have a bunch of racers go Saturday, let's say Saturday morning. How many people qualify for this F1 and then they have that?
Oh, no. Everybody that's there qualifies. It's just in what order do you qualify? There's 10 teams, 2 cars per team, so there's 20 racers.
Wow. And then depending on your position, then everyone starts the race in that position.
Correct.
And then they go around.
Correct.
So traffic was terrible in Vegas because of this. They have all these stands set up. For the life of me, I don't understand why. Well, I kind of get why they're doing it on the strip, because as you're not even for the drivers, but just to be on the strip, watching them go through the strip with these cars at 200 miles an hour is just going to look crazy.
And especially being that it's a night race.
Right. And they have all these lights. And I heard that if you have rooms up on the strip, you won't even be able to look down and see the race because the lights are so bright that it'll blind you. The only way for you to see it is buy tickets on the strip at these locations.
I'm sure that's part of the plan.
Right.
Right. And
it's cool, but from what I was hearing from the locals there, obviously traffic is a pain in the butt. As I left last night at around 9:30, they weren't done setting up the track fully yet. They still had to do certain things or whatever, which I don't know if that's a norm, but it's kind of strange.
You have to remember, there are some courses throughout the season that they're strict tracks where it's only used for races, but there are a bunch of them that are street course races where they're actually using the streets that are normally used on a daily basis.
Right.
So there's a lot that goes into it, and it has to be done. Some of it at the very last minute because they're still using those streets.
Right. So there was a lot of detours there. So it took us a little while to get to the stadium. Now, once we got into the stadium, the drop off couldn't have been better. They drop you a couple 100 feet from the stadium. You walk into this specific area. There were porta potties everywhere to your left. Then there was tailgating everywhere else. Little shops. I had the largest corn dog ever for $10, and apparently it's the best corn dog ever. I haven't had a ton of corn dogs. It was phenomenal. It was literally like a 10-inch corn dog. So
Probably parts of this story we could have done without.
right. So I ate a little something. I was trying to find other places, but it was just so packed, and there were tons. Don't get me wrong. The Raider fans show up all the time. I was surprised to see how many Jet fans there were, and sure as shit, we run into people from here that Paulie knows.
Of
Oh,
course.
so you did really run into people.
Yeah, it wasn't at the game. Well, actually, one group was at the game right before we got into the stadium.
Multiple groups, huh?
But then when we were flying back on the flight, there was like 6 or 8 guys that Paulie knew from wherever in this neighborhood, right?
He's got a lot of friends.
So we get into the stadium. The outside of the stadium is gorgeous. Like it's just sleek and nice. And
Yeah.
did I send you a pic to put on Instagram?
Not of the outside.
So I'll send it to you. I'll throw it on there. It's gorgeous. And the inside is obviously it's like 2 years old, so everything's brand new. If you're not looking for food, I thought there was a really cool concept. It's almost like those Amazon like
Yeah.
purchase things where like you don't need anybody. You just scan stuff and it charges your credit card and you walk out.
They even have that at UBS.
Yeah, something similar to that. Like there's like a little gate and you can't walk in until you charge your credit card, and it automatically charges you $25. And then you go in there and you pick what you want. And if you go over $25, by the time you walk out, it knows what you have for some reason and it charges your credit card. The $25, I guess, is a standard fee because unless you're getting 2 sodas, 2 beers is $30.
Right.
But they're like the big ones, like 24 ounces. So it's like $15 for the 24. You get 2 of them, it's $30. So they charge you another $5. No big deal. I thought that was cool because we didn't need.
Wait, you got a beer?
No, they had like seltzers. They had their own seltzers, which is like Topo Chico or something like that. Strawberry guava, not bad at all. Apparently it's a thing out there because there were no other seltzers in that stadium besides those. And they were good, but like it just saves you time. Like you go right through,
Right?
Yeah.
And you go right unless you
No line.
You go right to the seat, and I'm sure they had like 100 of those things in there.
Yeah. The last time I was at UBS, I saw it. They have it there. They have them there too.
Okay, I have yet to go to UBS. I got to do that this year, but the stadium was also had this giant flame thing that was an actual. I know I sent you a picture of that. It was lit up. It's like Al Davis's like famous quote or whatever. And below that is like a round bar around it, and it was huge, like liquor, whatever you needed was in there. And then like normal stuff, big TVs everywhere, brand new bathrooms, everything was clean. Our stadium seats were nice. We were like end zone to 10-yard line on I don't know, I guess the Raiders side because the Jets were on the opposite. So that was cool. And there were Jet fans all over the place. I'd say it was like 65, 35.
You're in Vegas, tons of transplants, tons of New Yorkers. So that was, you really shouldn't
Inevitable.
be too surprised by that.
No, but like there was a healthy mix of actual Jet fans there, besides just like the transplants and the tourists or what have you. I mean, I guess technically I'm a tourist, but whatever.
Yeah, well,
but I went there for the game. Like I'm a Jet fan.
Right, but how many other people were like, well, we can go to Vegas and go to a Jet game? We're down. So
right. Alrighty. Anyway, so now let's get to the game aspect of it, which I'm not going to take too long on because it's just depressing to say the least.
They let you down.
Yeah, the Jets can't score a touchdown. So if the defense doesn't get a pick six or a fumble for a touchdown or anything like that, or Brees Hall doesn't rip a 60-yard run for a touchdown, the Jets aren't going to win a game.
Oh, what did they say? They have 8 touchdowns in 9 games.
I don't even think it's that, to be honest with you. Maybe, yeah.
8 and 9.
Right. So
Cowboys had what 5 touchdowns Sunday.
Right. Exactly. And it's not all Zach Wilson's fault. Like it's the same story.
Definitely isn't. These guys are dropping passes left and right, man. So
it's not even that. What the biggest thing is the penalties. Like Brees Hall ripped off like 3 10-plus yard rushes on any particular drive. It doesn't even matter, and gets called back for some kind of either offensive holding or what have you. And you can't have that. The only mistake I'll give Zach Wilson, besides not being able to throw the ball into the end zone, is they still had a chance to win at the end of the game, and he throws the interception. Like, you can't do that. Throw the ball away, you know, and he didn't even take a lot of sacks. I think they had 2 sacks on the day, which wasn't bad.
But is that all it was? I thought it was a lot more than that.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I remember they show the stats up every like 5 seconds, and I don't remember seeing a lot of sacks. But maybe towards the end of the game he got sacked a few. But as of the start of the fourth quarter, I think he only had like 2. But yeah, and you can't expect the defense to be so elite in the fourth quarter after them being out there for 30 minutes. Uh-oh, what is this? Breaking news?
Breaking news.
Breaking news! We got breaking news! What do we got, Ern?
Blake Snell has been named National League Cy Young Award winner.
All right.
Riveting stuff.
Fantastic, Ernie. Thank you for that. That's not the breaking news we were looking for, but we appreciate the effort. Hopefully we can get another ringtone in a few minutes. We'll see.
That was a pretty cheesy.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you can work on some better music.
That was the quickest thing I could Google, bro.
But that's all right. Yeah. So that's it. The game sucked. I was sitting at the airport and listening to the Jet fans, and they cannot wait for us to get a different quarterback in at center or over center, I should say, for the Jets, because they just had enough of Zach Wilson, and it's a shame because it's almost like he's night and day from last year, right? And he's not as terrible as he looks on the field. Like, he threw for 230 or 40 yards and 1 interception. He just needs 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's all he really needs is 2 touchdowns. Maybe even 1, because they still had a chance to win the game. If he doesn't throw that pick and he throws a touchdown and we win 19-16, everyone's happy. You know, it was such a bummer walking out of that stadium after that loss.
Yeah.
You know, you spend all that money, and that's the thing too. It's not like you're at MetLife, which you spend enough money going to MetLife as it is, because if you're in New York, either you got to take the train, a car, or a bus, and you got to get a tailgate thing. So you spend enough on football anyway, right? But when you actually travel to go see your team, it's even more of a letdown, don't you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
And especially when you're spending
In a winnable game too.
gobs of money to go see this damn game.
Right. And most people do. I mean, I got lucky a little bit in certain aspects. I didn't have to spend a ton of money, but you know, the tickets were almost $600 for 2 tickets, so it's a lot. You know.
Yeah.
You want to see them win. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Raiders fans want to see them win too, but you know, you're home. Leave me alone. You know, take the loss. They didn't play that well either. You know, they were shut down to like 3 points till the end, almost the end of the third.
Yeah. No.
Then they got a field goal, and then another field goal, and a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. But whatever.
Listen, it's my opinion that if it's not for all the drop passes these guys are having,
You're hanging your hat on that a lot more.
We're talking much different story as far as the Jet season goes.
You might be right. I hang my hat more on the nonsense penalties on both sides of the ball, but the last 2 games, especially on the offensive side of the balls, because it kills the drive. Even if Aaron Rodgers was playing, 3rd and 22, he's not going to make that but 1 every 10 times, even if that. You get yourself that far back, whether it's a sack or a bunch of penalties, that drive is killed. And if it's killed in the first 2 minutes of your drive, the defense has to get back out there.
Yeah.
And those defensive guys are playing hard. And matter of fact, before I left Vegas, they had a meeting, a players-only meeting going on.
That was the talk of the town today. And who called the meeting? Who should have called the meeting? And but there was no meat to the story or anything like that. So I'm not sure exactly what transpired.
Right. Well, at least not yet. Right.
Yeah.
So then we got the rest of the Sunday games going. And by the way, if you ever do go to Vegas and you want to stay off the strip, go stay at Circa. They have the biggest sports book I've ever seen in my life. Did I send you pictures?
No.
I gotta send you pictures. I'll send you that too. You can put that on Instagram. Dude, it's 2 levels and it's around. And like on one side they have, we could do a podcast there, as a matter of fact. They had like a studio and guys were like actually doing a show like from like right there. And then it's almost like balcony seating, and the sports book is like down, and it's humongous.
Is that the one with the pool in front of it?
Yeah, well, that's upstairs, which I'll tell you about that in a second. But the actual sports book in the casino is ginormous, and it has like stadium seating on the first
So
floor.
it's a hotel.
Yeah, hotel casino. Circa. It's in old Vegas, or what Fremont Street is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the newest casino there. Otherwise, everything else is all like Binion's is still there, and all those
Yeah,
other
yeah,
old ones
yeah,
are still.
yeah.
It's a new casino there.
Oh, so I guess that's going to be the trend. Maybe they're going to start building new casinos there as well.
Maybe this is the first one. I guess we'll see how that does. So you have that sports book, which is ginormous. Then right off to the side of that, they have this mega bar, and I've never seen a longer bar. It's like 100, 200 feet. Like it's just a whole wall of the casino, and then there's TVs all on that wall. So if you didn't want to just stay at the sports book, you could go gamble, play like your Joker poker, like Paulie does, and watch sports on all those TVs. Wow. There's like TV after TV after TV, up and down, all the way throughout the whole wall. So then I go looking around because I heard about the sports book pool. So I go on the second floor, and I go up this huge escalator. It took me like 5 minutes to just get up this escalator and then go to the pool. It goes to the left, whatever. And I wanted to see the sports book. So I take a little peek. I see a little of it. So I asked the lady behind the desk. She's like, "Oh, you can't just go in there and see the TVs or the pool area. You have to pay $25 to get in there." So what do you think I did? Anyone want to venture a guess what you think I did?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Well,
You snuck
Oh,
in.
did you fall asleep for a minute there? That's all right. I said, "What do you think I did?" She asked me to pay $25 just to go look at the pool and at the sports book because they have an outdoor pool on like the second floor.
Could you swim in the pool or no?
No, yeah, of course. It's a.
But you have to pay to get
But
in
you have
there.
to pay to get in.
You told her you
You started crying and said you lost all your money and didn't have $25 to get in.
No, I told her go F herself. I'll see you later.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to
And I
handle
could
it.
kind of see the sports book, and
You're like, yeah, good enough.
Supposedly left to right.
Yeah.
The screen itself is 4 stories.
Right.
Left to right, not up and down, but left to right. So the screen is 40 or so feet left to right. And if you're watching the Super Bowl there, it's one giant screen. Obviously, you're going there for a Sunday football. They'll have all the games, a couple big screens. I guess they could split it up however they want to. So
I guess some things are bigger in Vegas too.
yeah, I wanted to look at it, and then in front of that you have like table games from what I saw, and then a pool. So you could sit in the pool, enjoy the pool, and watch sports, and then make sports bets right out there in the pool, which is what I wanted to check out. But unfortunately, she told me, "Sir, you have to pay $25 to get in just to see it." Jeez. I'm not paying $25 just to walk around for 2 minutes and see it. And I get why you would do that. Don't get me wrong; she's doing her job, whatever. But it was the tone of her voice, and then so you go up and you're talking to her. To your left is where you would go for the pool and the sportsbook thing. So I turned to my left to leave because she said I have to leave if I'm not paying. So I turned to my left, and then she's like, "Excuse me, the exit's this way." And I was like, "Oh, like I guess she thought I was going to try and sneak in," which I really wasn't trying to do. I wasn't paying. I was leaving. I was turning around. I just didn't know where to go.
You're like, you turn left. It's just a reflex.
Right, exactly. And I just didn't like the whole tone. So like, Circa, you got to fix this somehow. If people want to go see that, you should let them go see it. Like whether the security takes them to a quick look around, or you set up a tour for $5 maybe. So like you spend 5 minutes in there, and they pay $5. Like
yeah, because the $25 beer is not enough for them.
Right, like. You're making money hand over fist anyway. Like, you can't escort me through just to see it. Like, I'm not even in a bathing suit where you think I might try and go in the pool. Plus, it was 65 degrees. Like, I'll go in a pool at that, but most people won't. I'm just going to look to see. I want to take a few pictures. Wanted to throw it on a show. And now I got nothing. So, if you're out there listening, fix that. It's ridiculous. Especially it takes you 7 minutes to get to the pool anyway from the second floor. Like, do something with that. But anyway, that's it for that. Buffalo got beat by the Broncos. Good for Broncos. There was a bunch of upsets, I think, over the weekend, right?
There's a
Bang-
lot of close games.
Yeah.
Houston beat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Cincy.
Houston beat Cincy, which broke my heart, but whatever.
I mean, Cincy had a lot of chances, but just couldn't capitalize.
Right. Well, the first half they were terrible.
Oh, okay.
So
I saw more towards the end.
yeah, but they were terrible in the first half. They couldn't get anything going. So it was actually a miracle that that game ended up how it did. Them, I think it was like what 30-27 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
CJ Stroud looks like he's the real deal, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's playing somebody this week too, the Cardinals. So we'll see if they can beat a lesser good team because now, as good as he's been,
And I'm not gonna, rub salt in the wounds, but you guys both take the Bengals? No,
No.
only the Wanderer did.
I did?
Yeah, but I remember I said I took the Texans. I believed that the Bengals were going to win, but I thought that was a big number. But,
right?
And I was right.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll get to those in a second. Then the Ravens looked like they were in control the whole game, and then somehow the Browns came back and won last second as well. I made this big parlay bet, and the three, I think I lost 3 games out of picking all the games, and all 3 games I lost were in the final seconds.
Yeah,
Wow.
I lost the Ravens one, I lost the Bengals one, and I lost another one. I forget what the last one was, but whichever one I lost, it was 25-23, I think, and it was a last second field goal as well.
I had the same exact thing.
So-
Except I think I lost 4 games.
Right. No one's talking about you, but anyway, but that cost me like $3,900 on $10. So that would have been nice, right? So then we get to Monday night. The Bills suck. The Bills are actually playing the Jets this coming week, which is it's gonna be crazy. I don't even know how to pick that, but
So quick question.
Oh shoot.
Are you more frustrated as a Bill fan or as a Jet fan?
Well, that's a good question. Am I pretending to be a Bills fan, or I'm just being
Put yourself in the Bills fans' shoes.
I would be more disappointed if I was a Bills fan.
I think so
Yeah.
too, man.
Yeah.
You have. I'll tell you this right now.
High
if you
expectations.
swap quarterbacks, the Jets are 7-2, maybe 6-3, maybe even 8-1. You know what I mean? Because you're not asking Josh Allen to do as much. You just need him to play coherent football, which is why we got Aaron Rodgers. Like, don't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, as great as the Jets were supposed to be with Aaron Rodgers, the Bills were still favored to win the division.
Correct. And right now they're 5-4, I believe.
No, 5-5.
Are they 5-5? Wow. So basically, the Jets are 4-5. They're 5-5. So if the Jets actually beat the Bills, which would be a miracle, by the way, I am wishing that for
It happened
Christmas.
week 1.
Right. Yeah. Well, you were also at home, and it was like 75 degrees. But they're gonna be in Buffalo. It's gonna be a little harder. But if somehow the Jets can pull that off, they'll be ahead of the Bills because they'll be 5-5, right?
Yeah.
And then the Bills will be 5-6.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And what's Miami right now?
If the Dolphins were to lose, they'd be 6-4.
you'd
So
only
they'd be a game out of first place.
right, which is sad because we were talking about this 2 weeks ago, and the Jets could have, if they beat the Chargers and the Raiders, would probably be in first place right now, or at least tied for first place. And then they'd be in the not even in the hunt for the playoffs. They'd be in the playoffs right now. Because right now the Raiders are in the hunt at 5-5.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a while. So that's it, I guess, for football. I don't want to. We went on quite a little bit of tangent for the football games, but some other news, some light baseball news, nothing crazy. The Yankees hired a hitting coach. I don't know if you saw this, James Rowson.
No, I didn't hear that.
It was a couple days ago. He was with the Twins. I don't know if he was with the Twins last year, but they had an interview with him, and I don't know the guy, but I listened to his interview that someone did with him, and it wasn't bad. He kind of got me a little jacked up. Like, if this guy could translate what he did for the Twins, and keep in mind, he was the Twins hitting coach, when they set the all-time MLB record for home runs. Remember the year the Yankees and them were going back and forth? I think this was like 2019, I believe.
Oh, really?
So the year that they had like 306 and the Yankees had like 301 or something like that for home runs, he was the hitting coach for them.
Oh.
So I don't know if he's a hitting coach anywhere last year. Maybe he took a year off or something like that. But now he's the Yankees hitting coach. So we'll see how that goes. And then I don't know if we talked about it last week. You guys let me know if you remember. But Ryan Cashman did an interview where he was like cussing up a storm.
Yeah, we touched on it last
Okay.
the last show, but
so we'll leave that alone. The only thing I'll say about that is
the only
Hal was backing him up on it. He didn't like that he was cursing, but
yeah.
backed him up on what he was saying. So that was that. Oh, let's rewind. Let's do our picks from last week. Give us the picks from football last week. Let's see who did what and what our record is so far.
All right. Well, we have some, I guess, good news in the sense that we are now after week 11. No, after
10.
week 10. I'm sorry. All tied up 3 ways, 18 wins and 17 losses.
Woo!
Mono y mono y mono.
Don't call it a comeback. I'm even now.
The Wanderer.
It was a good run, I guess.
The Wanderer, who's been leading basically all year long, went a disappointing 1-3. Wah, wah, wah. Hugs for the
was a good
third
run.
week in a row meant 3-1. So if not for his wonderful Jets, could have went 4-0 the last 2 weeks.
And took over first place. Yes.
But on the brighter side of things, Ernie did go 4-0 this week.
Ooh, the big winner. So with that being said, start us off with your picks for week 11.
Okay, I'll start it off.
You have to. You went 4-0. We're going to go in reverse order now.
All right. With my first pick, I am going to take the Browns over the Steelers. Browns are giving one at home. I don't think the Steelers are as good as their record shows. Even though they announced today that Mr. Watson is out for the season, he's having shoulder surgery.
Yep.
Honestly, I think they were better without him, so I'm going with the Browns with my first pick, -1. My second pick, I am going with the 49ers, giving 11.5 against the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are falling apart little by little, and 49ers are at home, so I don't think it should be too much of a problem. They came back after their bye week and looked pretty good this week, so we should be okay. Third pick is going to be the Seahawks over the Rams. They're giving one in LA. I think the Rams are garbage, so. And I think the Seahawks lost last week, right? So they're going to be looking to bounce back. Or did they win?
Oh, last week?
The Seahawks.
I think they lost.
No, they won. They won. They were one of the ones that squeaked it out.
Did they play Washington?
Right? Against Washington.
Yeah.
And then with my fourth and final pick, of course, I am taking the Cowboys, who are playing the Panthers in Carolina, giving 10.5, and they should do to the Panthers what they did to the Giants. Should and better.
Keyword and better. Yes. Okay.
They did look great though. They did look great this week. Prescott looked really, really good. The offense is clicking. They got my man Brandon Cooks back into the mix of things.
Finally,
and had a monster game.
Yep.
So hopefully they keep that going.
Yep. Hopefully they do until the playoffs, obviously, when they shoot the bed. But anyway, so I'll go with my picks now. I'm picking the Texans over the Cards at -5 for the Texans. I just think C.J. Stroud has been doing really well against these good teams. I want to see him just be able to pick apart the bad teams as well, because sometimes he has trouble week in, week out with being consistent. The last 2 weeks he was good, so we're going to see what happens there. The next, I'm going against Ernie. I don't think the Rams are total trash. They're getting a point, so it's almost like a pick 'em. I think Matthew Stafford comes back after 2 weeks off and the bye, and McVay has a good scheme up. I don't know who's home on that game. Is it the Rams?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Rams are going to be at home in LA. I think they're going to pepper the ball to Cup, and with their defense, they should be able to hold off Geno Smith and Seattle with their two-headed monster run game. So I see the Rams winning out. My third pick is going to be the Vikings over the Broncos. I don't see the Broncos winning 3 in a row. They're one of those teams that they upset two teams back to back, and I don't see them, even though they're favored in this game because they're playing in in Denver, I believe. I think the Vikings are hot right now. They got Joshua Dobbs playing at a high level. And, oh, what do we got?
Breaking news again.
What is that? Is that breaking? Is that breaking news? We don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll find better music. We'll get to the breaking news in a little bit. So I'm going to pick the Vikings getting +2.5. And I think the Vikings are just going to outright win. So that's a good thing for me. And I'm looking to go 4-0 for the first time this year. I'm going to take the Jets +7 against the Bills. The Bills are a disaster right now, just like the Jets are. And I know they're playing in Buffalo, and they're going to be out for blood because their team is on the fritz. Oh, what was that? Is that breaking news?
Breaking news. Garrett Cole has won the American League Cy Young Award.
I knew that 10 minutes ago, pal. Thanks. But I appreciate you.
All right, so you got your NL and
So if you didn't
AL
hear that-
Cy Young
Right,
winners.
so if you didn't hear that for all the glass breaking, Garrett Cole won the Cy Young for this year. Whip D freaking do. I hope he's happy about it. We didn't even make the playoffs. Great. Back to the picks. Jets +7 over the Bills. I hope the Bills keep spiraling. It's only good for us. I'm not saying the Jets are going to win this one, but I hope they keep it close enough with that +7, and maybe they'll surprise somebody and sneak out a win. So,
All right.
you're the last
I'm
one up.
Yeah, had a pretty bad week. Probably worst week.
Your worst week yet.
We'll see if we can bounce back. So I also like Houston -5 versus the Cards. They looked pretty good on Sunday. I guess I might be favoring their performance a little bit, but let's roll the dice. Next up, I'm going with the Lions -8 versus the Bears. Lions are having a good year. I think it continues Sunday, and they win big. Third up, we're going with the Commanders against the Giants -8.5. Tommy DeVito, I don't see him getting it done.
When's the last time you think the Commanders were 8.5-point favorites?
I couldn't tell you. It's been a while.
2003.
And then fourth, I mean, of course, we gotta do the Cowboys game. We're gonna take them -10.5 versus the Panthers, and those are the plays for Week 11.
All right, there you go. Those are our picks for the week. We're all knotted up at 18 and 17, so this is a big Week 11 for us.
Anybody's game. It's like Week
Anybody's
1.
game to take over right now. Wander's been on the throne for, I guess, since the beginning. So maybe he can get dethroned this week by either me or Ernie. We'll see.
We'll see if anyone can usurp.
Yes, sir. So we got a couple picks in common, so it could be tough. So we'll see. Yeah, back to any notes, no other notes, just the hitting coach thing for the Yankees. It's still rather early for the hot stove rumors. A lot of people are saying Juan Soto is going to come to the Yankees. We haven't seen anything. There might be a fire sale down in San Diego. We shall see in the upcoming weeks.
R.I.P. for the owner.
Yeah, that's right. The owner passed away. What was it, over the weekend, right?
Yeah, or
it was recent.
Yeah, it was either Sunday or Monday.
Yeah. So because of that gentleman, his name escapes me right now, but our prayers to his family. But he really wanted to bring a championship to San Diego, and it wasn't able to happen on his watch. I don't know what they're going to do there now. They might try to shed payroll because they had to take out a $50 million loan from somebody to just cover their payroll from last year. So
really,
yeah, they were asking for $100 million. They only got 50. I don't know from who. I don't remember, but it's out there. So they needed 50 million to cover their payroll for the players. So with that being said, it looks like Juan Soto's a goner. Whether it's the Yankees or not, I don't know. Normally the winter meetings is where things like that happen. So that's in the upcoming weeks. I think it's like a couple weeks from now. So we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, there's no other baseball news. Uh, we'll talk hockey and football next week. Wander, we have anything that we watched recently?
I did watch The Killer on Netflix. The new.
I watched that too.
How was that?
Not
we're
as
gonna watch that
not
tonight.
as good as I thought it was going to be.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Now I don't know what to do. Do I watch it tonight or do I not watch it tonight?
It started out very slow.
Yes, the beginning. I'll definitely agree there. The beginning was definitely building up a bit for sure.
But based on the previews, I thought it was going to be so much better than I ended up thinking it was.
And that's Michael Fassbender, right?
Yes,
That's my guy. I like that guy.
he's good.
Michael Fassbender.
Good actor.
Yeah, good actor. So don't watch it then, basically. Got it. Anything else you were watching?
I think that's the only thing I really watched. What about yourself?
I finished Loki.
Oh yeah, I finished that as well. What did you think?
I think it was okay. I like the ending. I just don't totally understand where it's going. Like, is there a
Right.
season 3? Like, without ruining anything, because we've gotten some feedback that we ruined some of the shows for people.
Oh really?
We
Who said
do.
that?
Paul Lim's daughters. So,
Sorry, girls.
So Paul, yeah. So the
Do
girls,
they even watch said mentioned shows?
probably not. They're probably just busting balls. But either
I'm
way,
just surprised we have another viewer.
right. And they probably watch it and don't subscribe, by the way. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So without ruining it, I just don't know where they're going with it. Like, are they doing another season?
Or is that it?
Is that it? Is it gonna add something to the movies that are coming up with like the Kang Dynasty, like the Avengers Kang Dynasty? Because remember that because of that guy's court problems.
That I feel like that's the bigger issue there.
Right. So like, if they're gonna switch away from that, then the ending of Loki means nothing, right?
See, that seems to be the dilemma. Is because of his situation, they have to shift
Right. They don't
to
have to.
from what their plan was.
They don't have to. I guess they're debating or getting ready to choose if they're going to do that. Now, if they do that, it makes Loki.
Well, what I'm saying is that doesn't happen. Everything is cohesive. You
Right.
know? Everything fits. Everything in its right place.
Agreed. Yeah. But yeah, 100%. But if they decide to shift to what they were saying, Doctor Doom, as opposed to him,
Right.
then
seems that they're going that way.
Yeah,
right?
then the Loki's meaningless. And
Right.
then unless they decide to do a third season and expand it from there on a different aspect, right?
Yeah, they're definitely in a tough spot.
Right. So that's it. I'm almost done with Bosch Legacy season 2. I'm tired of this guy. I guess his name is Titus
Wellington.
Wellington, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will say that I'm tired of him always talking to people like this. Can we stop doing this? Like, I want to be like, if I did the show.
Also, the Man in Black from Lost, right?
Yeah, like just like he always questions people or talks to people doing something like this. Like, why are we doing this all the time? Like, can you just talk straight? Like, is it that hard?
That's the
Like
famous Tom Selleck sympathy nod from Friends, right?
Right. Yeah.
When he's hooking up with Monica.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, do we really have to question people? Like, what are you talking about? What's going on here?
I did. I just realized. Finished something else.
What you got?
I somehow remembered that I never finished Justified, the new one,
Right.
the prequel or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Not prequel, but
no, like just they restarted back up, right?
Well, it's Primeval. Yeah, I forget what it's called, but the newest one. And so I forgot I had 2 episodes left of that, so I finished that, and that was good. I enjoyed that.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Did you
Nice.
check that one out? No.
No, not yet. I have to watch all the Justified first. Before
Oh,
I go.
right.
So it's a huge commitment. So I'll do that eventually in the
Yeah.
next year or two.
Yeah, but it was good. I'm glad I remembered to go back to it.
I finally finished most of the show, so now when I get back to work next week, I can start, or even tonight maybe I can start some new shows and get into the mix. 'Cause
Nice.
I have a couple of days to do it before I get back to work.
Oh, so you're off for the rest of the week?
That I am. I'm gonna recover from
Free
my
bird.
Vegas trip.
Nice.
You know, done with me. So yeah, that's all we got. Let's see what we got for
Oh yeah,
music today.
3 music picks as usual. We are going to go with. I mean, I guess this is a month early, but hey, what the hell? We have Cook and Soul with Woo Xmas or Christmas, but if you're gonna look it up, type in Xmas. The Smile with a Light for Attracting Attention. It's a good record from 2022, I believe. And then third, we have Nicholas Craven and Boldy James with Fair Exchange, No Robbery. So those are the picks for this week.
All right. Well, that about wraps us up for this episode. Our little special midweek edition with all of us being tied with our picks. See us next Monday to see actually who is ahead of the group. I'm hoping it's me at this time. I've come all the way back. So we'll see what happens. Well, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. And we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.
Tune in next
Take
time.
care. Happy Wednesday.
That's right. Not every Wednesday.
I said happy Wednesday.
Oh, happy Wednesday, whatever. Enjoy, guys. See you later.